Hey, what's up, PokeMoshPit? Biolizard1 here, bringing you yet another Wi-Fi battle, and this is a match against that guy I met at Smogon. This was a battle I had a while ago, so I'm not really sure if it fits the current tiers, but anyway, this was a good match. So he starts off with a Kajondo, and I start off with my Jumpluff, and my Jumpluff is going to take the fake out, and predicting for him to go for a U-turn to switch out and get the regeneration boost, I'm going to go for an Encore. Unfortunately for me, he switches out into Cresselia, and I'm not really sure what most of the Cresselias do lately, so I'm going to go for a substitute while he goes for an Ice Beam. And I know he's probably going to go for a second Ice Beam 2 times in a row, and I don't want to lose my Jumpluff this early in the game, so I'm just going to switch out into my Tentacruel, Tentacruel being the perfect specially defensive wall to counter this Ice Beam. Not really counter, because if I say counter, then I would be able to endure the hit and finish him off. That's something my Tentacruel does not do. In return, I'm going to go for Toxic Spikes. I'm going to lay down my first layer of Toxic Spikes, which is basically nice. And I'm going to lay down a second layer of Toxic Spikes. And this team, as you will see, it was really weak to Toxic Spikes, so it really paid off setting up 2 layers. Now he switches out into Lopunny. I'm going to switch out into my Wobbuffet because I don't want this Lopunny to switch out. I predict him to go for either a Thunder Wave or some other non-attacking move, so I'm going to go and Encore him into that move. Luckily for me, he goes for a substitute, and that was really great. I'm going for a safeguard so that after the Encore wears off, I'm going to be able to not be affected by the Thunder Wave. So I'm going to switch out into Tyranitar. Tyranitar is going to set up the Sandstream, which is basically the thing I wanted. And now my plan of this team is basically set and ready to go, because he switches out into Rhyhorn. And not really sure why I switched out into Rhyhorn. This is probably an Evilite Stone Rhyhorn. You don't see those very often, but it's original. So he's going to go for a Stealth Rock this turn. Like I said, I really don't see a lot of Rhyhorns lately, so I just subbed here, trying to scout out a little bit more what he was going to do. Now I see that he goes for a Stealth Rock, then he switches out and goes back into Lopunny, who gets severely poisoned as well. I predict him to switch out and go for a Leech Seed, and even if he stayed in, the Leech Seed would be very good for me, because now I have both Leftovers recovery and Leech Seed recovery, and together with the toxic damage coming from my Toxic Spikes, that is going to wear down my opponent very fast, while my hit points are gaining and gaining. So it's actually a nice strategy, but that's not really the main strategy of this team. I'm not going to spoil things yet, but I'm going to tell you later on. Now I'm going to predict him to switch out or either stay in, go for a substitute. Not really sure what he can do, but I'm going to go for a bounce. He's going to switch out into his Hihidaruma, and that is going to give me some good residual damage on this guy. Thinking that Hihidaruma doesn't have the best defenses and best special defenses in the world. So he's going to go for a U-turn. That is obviously going to break my sub, because it's going to be either Choice Bandit or Choice Scarfed. He's going to switch out into his Kajondo again, and I'm sorry for saying the Japanese name, but 1, I'm very bad at pronouncing the English name of Kajondo, and 2nd, I don't know him at the moment. So I'm going to switch out into Tentacruel again. Tentacruel is going to get some recovery with the Black Sludge, and in this turn I'm going to take the advantage of blasting away the Stealth Rocks, because this is one thing that this team doesn't really want in this game, and that is to have Stealth Rocks up. The reason why is going to be self-explanatory later in the game. So, like I said, I'm going to go for a Rapid Spin. That Rapid Spin is going to blow away Stealth Rocks, so that gives me thinking that he's going to want to switch out back into Rhyhorn and try to set up the Stealth Rocks again eventually. So I'm going to go into my Jumpluff, expecting another Stone Edge, because I don't want to lose my Tentacruel this early in the game, and my Jumpluff is pretty much useless at this point of the match. So after seeing that, I'm going to be able to switch out my Aron. And Aron has a new ability in the Dream World. Actually, it's not a new ability, but the older ability has changed, and that is the ability Sturdy, which basically works as a focus sash, because when you get hit by a move, it's going to bring you down at 1 HP, so this means that you can be one-hit KO'd by one move. So I finish him off with an Endeavor, because it's going to bring him at 12 hit points, and after toxic damage is going to finish him off. Then he switches back into Cresselia. Cresselia, I'm not really sure what kind of Cresselia this is, so fearing the trick, I go for a Protect to scout him out. Then I'm going to go for an Endeavor on the second move. Cresselia is not going to be affected by the toxic spikes, however, but it's going to be affected by the sandstorm damage. So that's great. Here I'm going to go for another protect, maybe expecting him to go for a switcheroo, which switches items just like Trick does. But he goes for a sub instead. That is not really good for me, so I don't want to stay in. I'm gonna switch out into my Tentacruel, who can basically put some damage on this Lopunny anyway. So Lopunny is going to get hit by both Sandstorm and both Toxic damage, and with a substitute up, that isn't the best position for him to be in. So I'm just going to spam some attacks at him, go for a Rapid Spin, try to blow away the Stealth Rocks again so I can freely switch in my Aeron later in the game. So that's what I do. Go for a Rapid Spin. He's going to stay and go for a substitute for a random reason. Really not sure why he did there. And yeah, like I said, he's going to get some toxic damage and some sandstorm damage, and those two damages are going to be so huge that his leftover recovery isn't going to be good for him. So now he's going to be at a point where his toxic damage is going to take him out, which is really good. So that's what happens. The game is lagging a bit here in my opinion. I'm narrating way too fast. But yeah, this is the moment where he is going to get finished off by Toxic. He's going to switch back into Darmanitan, and the best thing I can do here is let Tentacruel in, let him finish me off with any of his moves, so that I can switch into my Aeron which safely, so it won't get a hit or any residual damage. I'm going to switch into Aron. He's going to go for a Fire Punch, but due to Sturdy, I'm going to survive that. I'm going to go for an Endeavor, bringing him at 1 hit point. I'm going to get my my Shell Bell, I mean, and my Shell Bell is going to bring him back at full health, which means that my Sturdy ability is going to be activated again once I get hit. So he's going to go for a Flamethrower. I'm going to get my Sturdy ability, and that's going to bring him down at 1, and Sandstorm is going to finish him off. So that was a good game. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the PokeMoshPit. Be sure to check out my channel as well. And yeah, maybe see you in a different match. So see you guys, bye.